Okay, I think many people have heard the channel WatchMojo.com. This is the top 10 banned anime episodes. I'm sure this is the Americanized versions. Wherever you are, you may not have these banned. Let's take a look, though. I am quite interested. This is Pokemon that I'm recognizing right from the get go. So, WatchMojo, top 10 banned animes episodes.
守らんときはわしのサンダーボルトが火を吹くぞ。
サンダーボルトって
You got the. Ooh! If you disobey me, we're going right from the get go.
わかりまし
Okay,
た
I get it.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most
Man, you know what? Let's go, narrator. You don't get to pick your own name.
infamous anime episodes that weren't allowed to air in certain parts of the world.
Why do you want me? You must have some reason for keeping me tied up like a pretzel.
Digimon.
Number 10, Satoshi and Nagatu Keisaru, Touchdown of Friendship. Pokemon, in his quest to catch
I have not seen any of the newer Pokemon. You know, I'm kind of like that old school OG Pokemon that came out. Seeing any of this stuff, it goes way over my head. But it's interesting because, you know, Pokemon's been getting a lot of interesting news about some of the things and inferences are given off with these Pokemon and people. The fans definitely too, definitely some degeneracy going on there, right? You know who you are.
'em all, Ash decided to bond with some Persimmon by trying out their face paint.
わあすげえこれ投げつけされじゃん
All right.
Despite his good intentions, all he did
So,
was
he
get the
looks
whole
like-
episode banned from English territories.
Yeah,
The
that-
dub skipped over this installment due to Ash's paint job looking an awful lot like blackface.
I see exactly where they're going with that. Yep.
The implications were too much to ignore or
I
edit
can see-
around.
I can see
leaving
that
the
being a
Pokemon
problem.
Company with no choice but to outright ignore it. Considering how many times this has happened to Ash,
I
he
think
should
it's
just
silly.
be glad
I mean,
this
he's
is
trying
the
to
only
relate to
episode from the
Pokemon.
Sun and Moon seasons that was skipped.
何この
It's
感じ
interesting.
Number 9, Am I
just
Beautiful?
do it a mask.
Kujisake Onna, Ghost Stories.
I'm sorry
All right, so they're ghost stories. Here's another thing. I had a viewer actually recommend checking out some ghost story dubs, but supposedly this is an anime that's just a bunch of ghost stories. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone, right? That's how I think of it. It's like the short little stories that you get on these episodes. Um, another anime I might have to check out.
I didn't scare you did I
It's hard enough to get an episode banned, it's even more impressive to get it banned before it even airs. To this day, the only public footage of this Ghost Stories episode is a short 15-second preview that aired the week before its intended broadcast. It was
They
supposed to chronicle the story
cleaned it
of
away.
Kujisake Onna, a woman with a disfigured mouth who stalks kids.
私綺麗
But many parents found it offensive that the ghoul's appearance resembled a cleft palate and protested against the episode's release. In the hopes of avoiding a PR disaster, Network Fuji TV completely removed the chapter, even taking it off the
Interesting.
eventual DVD release. Kujisake Onna won't be haunting anyone now.
2 generations of your family have stolen my freedom and ruined my plans.
I see.
You'll pay for this!
So
Number-
it came off looking like a cleft palate. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but that could be kind of, you know, I see. People with cleft palates are born that way. It's unfortunate.
8. Hot Springs Planet Tenrei, Outlaw Star. Ah, the good old Hot Springs episode.
Outlaw
It's basically an
Star.
anime tradition. Better
Is
yet,
a good
in
anime.
Outlaw Star, it wasn't just one hot spring, it was a whole damn planet.
Whoopee! I'm thrilled that you guys can just kick back and relax, even though I don't have time for such luxury.
I don't know why this feels like
You
I
can
have
probably
memories
guess
of
where
this.
this
I
is
may
going.
have seen this
The
before it got
sexual
banned.
humor and overall
it
lack
out?
of clothing meant it couldn't air within 10 miles of an American network.
Can you hear me over there? How's the water temperature on your side?
You know, the hot springs in anime is like I don't know. That's just it comes go. It's like peanut butter and jelly.
so the original dub release just casually passed over it.
Stop writing essays with ChatGPT.
Oh man, good old AI everywhere. It is it.
On TV, that is. The episode was fully dubbed, but it wasn't allowed to air for another 17 years. Given that most banned anime never see the light of day, we should be happy we got to witness this
It
at
did
all.
come out.
There's no stinking temple up here at the summit.
Number 7. The Beach, The Island, and a Vacation. The Guardian's Break.
You
Sailor
know-
Moon. Not quite as lewd, but
Sailor-
just as controversial.
Sailor Moon was
Beach
always out
episodes
when I
are
was
another anime staple
watching
that are
anime,
hit
and
or miss
I
when
remember
it comes
seeing
to
a few episodes,
overseas
but I didn't
dubbing.
retain
Sorry,
anything.
Sailor Moon fans, but this vacation landed on miss, and not for the reasons you'd expect.
どうしてなの？
There wasn't any offensive or sexual content. The original dubbing company just didn't want to pay for more episodes than they needed. Since The Guardian's
Got
Break
cheap.
was 100% filler, it was easy to exclude without affecting the overall plot.
They just cut it. I see. Ooh, a shot. Whoa, what the hell?
However, its absence from broadcast and DVD releases led fans to name it the Lost Episode. English audiences wouldn't be able to see it until this' new release in 2014.
キリンちゃん、ママから毎日食べた日。
This is like a bonus episode at
Number
that point.
6, Going Too Far, XL Saga. With a title like that, is it really any surprise that this episode crosses some lines? Now, what if we were to tell you that
interesting.
was on purpose?
Show XL Saga. Looks like it may have been one season, maybe 2.
Allegedly, director Shinichi Watanabe wanted to go as far as possible with XL Saga's finale. He knew it would be way too much for television and only meant for it to be released on the DVD set.
It's like a Cowboy Bebop character.
And, well, he got his wish.
Whoa,
Japanese
what's
broadcasters
going on
gave
here?
Going Too Far a big fat no, leaving it as a special
Did you see
bonus
that
for
in the
fans who
background?
bought the physical disc. Say what you will about his storytelling, but Watanabe's definitely got guts.
I can't help but wonder how Mr. Nabashin will tie up the ends of the story in the time we have left.
Number 5, Beauty and the Beach, Pokemon. Even if you don't recognize the name, you've probably seen the screen
Beauty and
caps
the
for this
Beach.
episode. You know, the one where James from Team Rocket is in a bikini and has
I've
a big
seen
old
this
chest.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's from this
A
episode.
big old natural. Whoa.
Now, do we really need to tell you why Beauty and the Beach went behind bars? To be fair, the dub episode actually aired twice, albeit with several edits for the more risque moments.
I'd like to enter the beauty contest.
You should, Misty. There are
Yes, you
cash
should.
prizes for both the beauty and the costume contests.
Well, our money worries are over.
But ever
Good
since
old
2000,
Professor Oak.
it hasn't
Sounds
been
like a
included
great
in any
idea.
release, streaming or physical. Given that James's rack only grows more problematic as the years go by, that's probably for the best.
With a build-up like that, none of the judges will give me a second look.
Number 4, Osamatsu returns. Mr. Osamatsu. 25 years after he last appeared on screen, Mr. Osamatsu returned to broadcast, only for his first episode to be locked away for good. Then
is this
again,
show?
they were kind of asking for it.
Oh my goodness.
In order to catch up on all the anime trends of the last few decades, Mr. Osamatsu spends this premiere episode parodying some of the most popular shows
Yeah.
around.
I can see it's a parody.
27年ぶりだな。
The quintuplets cycle through Attack on Titan,
Oh
Pokemon,
my God, look at that
Bleach,
Naruto
Naruto,
character.
Dragon Ball Z, and more. But due to the massive breach in copyright, the episode was scrubbed from streaming services and promptly removed from all future releases. It was a
That's
good
crazy.
joke,
They
just
just
one
went,
that could
they went
only be
ham
done
on
once.
all the copyright.
アニメ今日で最終回だ。
Number 3, School Days. School Days.
正解どうして
どうしても何もなんで桂
School days.
Anyone who wanted to tune in for
Are
the
those
finale of
siblings?
this high school romance ended up waiting a
You always
whole
have to
extra
assume.
week to see the bloody conclusion. School Day's slice of life storyline ends with cold-blooded murder, but on the day it was supposed to air, it was abruptly pulled due to its similarities to another crime recently committed in Japan.
Yeah.
Several major
hope it was
networks
above the
refused to
belt.
air it even after the delay, leading many to fear the brutal episode would be buried for good. While School Day's
That was
grisly finale
intense.
did eventually make it to TV, it had to be on a smaller channel where the subject matter wouldn't make as many waves. Number
That sound wet. That sound really wet.
2. Wild Horses, Cowboy Bebop. 5 years after its release, and 3 since the dub, an episode of Cowboy Bebop got quietly pulled from rerun circulation. It
I would love to find some time. We maybe go through the whole Cowboy Bebop show.
had nothing to do with the show or content at all.
What went wrong?
Constant reminders of your
Yeah.
moderate to
Doing a reaction to all of Cowboy Bebop, I think, would be good. And the old school Trigun.
The fuel tanks are empty. There's nothing I can do now.
Instead, the installment just so happened to feature a NASA spaceship, which was a very sensitive image following the disastrous
Happy Monday,
re-entry
Ryan.
of the Columbia shuttle in 2003. To avoid any potential backlash, Adult Swim plucked the episode out of its routine schedule without a word.
You're watching Top 10 Banned Anime Episodes.
Luckily, Bebop fans didn't have to wait long before it was reinstated, but that's still a lot of fanfare for an episode that, all things considered, is pretty tame.
Have you ever seen Cowboy Bebop? Because I was just saying, I think I would love to find the time to watch the whole show. I've definitely seen a lot of episodes. I think it's a great show. I love the whole, outer space theme. You know that. So.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel
I
and
think
ring
we're ready
the
for the
bell
last
to get
one.
notified about our latest
Yeah, this must be
videos.
the top.
You have the option to be notified for occasional videos.
This is
or
my
all of them.
WatchMojo.com
Make sure
channel.
to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Electric Soldier Porygon, Pokemon.
Oh, okay. I've heard of this. Never saw it. This is the old original Pokemon that came out in America. I used to watch this right before going to school every morning. I think it was every Thursday morning. But nonetheless, Porygon came in and started getting kids just hospitalized. It was a straight epilepsy triggering. I think this episode triggered why a lot of shows and media now have to have the warning. If my memory serves me right, we'd have to look.
Being banned is the very least of this episode's problems. It changed television as we know it. The story sounds innocent enough. It's about Ash and company following a stray Porygon into the World Wide Web.
それはこの天才秋葉原博士が作り出した CG ポケモンポリゴンの初号機だ
CG ポケモンポリゴン
However, in
The
doing so,
digital
they
Pokemon.
traveled through a series of flashing lights that hospitalized hundreds of real viewers across Japan. Not only was the episode pulled
Children.
from TV and retired forever, it sparked a whole governmental movement about strobe effects in animated programs.
おかげで助かったよ
So, if your favorite anime ever looks dim, you have Porygon to thank, assuming you can even track down the episode anymore.
万全なシステムをまた作ってよ
だねだねピカチュウ
Which of these banned episodes
That's
do you
crazy.
want to see the most? Let us know in those comments below.
Not one, not two,
Oh no.
but 6
They're gonna show it again?
girls on stage all at once.